Because of the ongoing impact of the coronavirus pandemic, we are collectively struggling with productivity because of the distractions all around us. So today, I'm going to be talking about 5 strategies that can help you be productive even when life is distracting. So let's jump in. Okay, how can we actually get things done? How can we still be productive when everything seems to be crazy around us? When our schedules are off, our former structures are off, and our routines have been thrown out of whack. Now, this isn't a new thing. I mean, COVID's been around since March of last year, but it continues to hinder us because we can't carry on with life as normal. We have a lot more precautions we have to take, and we have different rules that we have to follow, and we need to schedule more time for things. Sometimes things that used to be just simple assumptions no longer work that way. So we need some real strategies that can help us get things done and not be beating ourselves up all the time because we can't do things like we used to. So let's dive into these 5 strategies. Number 1, the first thing to do is to acknowledge what the distraction is and what you're feeling. So for you, it might be dealing with the actual pandemic and the fallout of what that change has meant in your life. Or, given the political situation in the United States lately, it could be just the stress of the ongoing political unrest. That is a very real challenge that we face, not just with things in November and December and January in this country, but even things over the summer. There was a lot of tension and there is a lot of challenges that we face as a nation, and we will continue to face. So if we can't figure out ways to continue with our lives and to accomplish the things that we need to do to live our lives, then it's going to be really difficult for us to move forward. So the first thing is acknowledging what is the distraction, the specific distraction for you, and what is it making you feel? And just naming those things will be able to help you know how to proceed. Okay, step number 2, once you know what you're feeling and why you're distracted, you can reassess your agenda. Figure out what's necessary for today, not next week, but figure out what is actually necessary, what is essential, what must get done today, and focus on that. So if you have 2 or 3 smaller tasks that have to get done, set a timer for 30 minutes and work on that one. Don't let any distractions. Don't be watching TV. Don't be checking your phone. Don't be listening to social media. You got to remove those distractions and focus on what needs to get done, that has to get done. And if you have things that are on your schedule that you were planning to do, but maybe aren't quite so urgent, it might be wise to put them off because it will be really difficult to continue to corral your focus to get the things that have to be done and the things that could be done today done. So it's just best to really have a clear view of what has to be done today. So number 3, I know some of you probably won't like this and won't want to push back, but number 3, reduce your social media consumption. Actually, I'm going to go a little further. I'm going to say cut it off, because when things are happening that feel really scary and feel out of control, social media only serves to feed that anxiety because it's just this constant stream of overstimulation, and we don't necessarily know how to interpret it, we don't know how accurate it is, and we don't really know what the end game is. So it only feeds our anxiety. So instead of turning to social media, if there are things that are happening, big things that are happening in our nation, like on January 6th, it's probably better to turn to a respected news source so that you can get filtered news rather than just anything that anybody wants to say without any filter, without any ability to fact check. So turning to a legitimate news source during these times of crisis or during these times of heavy distraction is going to actually help you know what's going on and then be able to, okay, this is what's going on. Now, this is what I have to get done. So let me set aside this half hour or this hour to focus on getting it done, and then I'll go back and check for 5 minutes or 10 minutes. But I'm not gonna get sucked into the full day of just getting nothing done. All right, point number 4 is to let go of perfection. With the pandemic, with working from home, with hybrid schooling for many families, and limited support systems, life is really hard, and there are things that we would like to get done that just aren't realistic to do right now, and that's okay. So there will be things that fall through the crack. There will be things that are on your list and have been on your list and you really want to do, but now isn't the time. And so even in your workplace scenario, if you're trying to work from home and you have kids at home who are doing online learning, you need to be talking with your company and letting them know that I am also having to oversee learning from home. And so things that I used to do, I will be able to do again, but maybe not everything to the exact level that I was doing before. And I hope that they would be willing to work with you. I think most companies have enough employees that have this particular scenario that they are a little bit more flexible at this time. And it's not something you want to take advantage of, but it's something that you want to know, let people know, like, okay, this big distraction is happening in our nation. I have this thing due. I can still get this done, but maybe I can't do this other project that I was hoping to get done. I need to push it back a week. So by giving people heads up that something is a little bit behind schedule or that can't meet maybe the expectation you had, that is going to go over better than getting to the deadline and not having it done. So it's better to communicate in these situations than to just let things fall through the cracks and try to make excuses at the end. And then number 5, as much as it's possible, set aside time for uninterrupted work and go deep during this time. So this will likely be either early morning time or after your kids have gone to bed. So those times when it's actually quiet, when nobody's coming to interrupt you, those are the times that you need to set aside for your most intense, focused type of work. So you don't want to be responding to emails then. You don't want to be checking Slack at that time. And you don't want to be doing the little house cleaning, administrative tasks that need to get done, but don't need to be done when it's actually quiet in your home or in your workspace. So during those times of quiet, that's when you want to go deep. You want to turn off your phone from notifications. You want to silence your email, minimize that email screen so that it's not a distraction, and just do what you need to do. Set a timer for like at least 60 minutes if you can, and try to get 60 minutes to 90 minutes just on that one project that you need to work on. And I think you'll be surprised at how much you can get done in that small amount of focused time. So the way that I've been doing this in my weekly schedule is I get up a couple hours before my kids do. So I will get up and I will have a little bit of time to read and write in the morning. And then I move on to a full 90-minute block of getting stuff done for my work day that is much easier to do when I don't have interruptions or I can't hear kids just doing their normal kid stuff. So it's a lot easier for me to get some of these projects done when I can actually focus more closely. And so that's what I use that early morning time for. And then again at night, I have some other projects that I work on after my kids have gone to bed for an hour to 90 minutes in the evening. And that time is also is quieter. And so I can put on music and I can knock out the things that need to get done without having constant interruptions. I hope these 5 strategies on how to be productive even when life is distracting will be helpful for you. If you have other strategies that you've implemented in your life and think others would find useful, I'd love for you to share. Just drop it in the comments and I'll look forward to hearing from you.